All right, Hutch, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
Great to
Thanks.
have you back again.
Glad to be here.
You gave one of my favorite talks on my channel
I
several months ago.
I got a lot out of it that I didn't know I would for sure. That's for sure.
Did you read the comments? And
My son did actually. My son, we got back. I got back to Hawaii like a week after we did it, and I think that's when it posted. Like probably the night after I got back, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't like read the comments and stuff. I was too like um, self-conscious about it.
a lot of people have that
Yeah, it was a
similar
trip.
reaction.
It's a trip. The people that watch this show or watch this channel are like hands down the nicest people in the world, or at least the people that comment are, you know,
Yeah, no,
and
my viewers are probably the most evolved, compassionate group you can
empathetic.
imagine
Yeah,
on social media.
they try to place themselves in your shoes, which is really cool. I never had such a cool response. And then I had family hit me up. I had like friends hitting me up, people getting into contact with me, people I was in the military with, especially. And it's been like a really cool ride ever since then, you know? It's been a cool thing. Um,
Such a beautiful talk.
yeah, thank you.
Your talk was the exact prototype of what I try to do on my channel.
That's like the coolest thing. That's cool that you say that, dude, because I didn't know anything about the soft white underbelly in any way, shape, or form before, other than I saw an interview of you, somebody asking you what the channel's about and stuff. So I literally, when my friend contacted me, our mutual friend contacted me and said, "Hey, my buddy might want to interview you," I literally thought like this was a guy that owns a rehab, and he's doing like these videos to show people and stuff like that. And then when it posted, is when I saw what the channel was and was like, "Holy shit! Like this is like this is something else," you know. And then watching the video myself, I was so proud. I was like so proud of myself that I was able to put things into words um and just talk with you about stuff that, you know, it seems to have gotten a good response. I did notice, I think people were a little confused as to like, I am a sensitive person. I'm okay with that. I'm an emotional person. I feel my emotions. They are big, you know, like we talked about. But it does not mean that I wasn't made to do what I did. You know, the thing that tripped me out was that, like, I didn't realize how it came across that maybe I regret my military experience or something like that. And that's not the case. There's things that I've done that I regret. There's things that I feel I could have done better or not, you know? But I was good at soldering, really good at it. And I have an honorable discharge. And I have a tattoo on my face, but I'm not a crackhead, dude. You know? And that doesn't really define me. Okay. You know, it doesn't really. My tattoos are another part of like a map on me as to you can hit checkpoints on my tattoos on my body and say, okay, that's probably where he was in his life at that time. And they tell a story. But what they don't do is tell you what kind of person I am. You know, that's one thing that I notice is like, I think we judge each other off the cover so fast. We might not even hear each other out. But I noticed in the comments people are like, oh, I was just gonna skip him, another tattooed face crackhead, and then they didn't. And then they said something super nice, and I'm just like, I'm really glad that this person said that. You know, the things that people said. My son was crying when he was like, "Dad, these people, they like you. They think you're nice. You know, they know you like I do now. You know."
It's great to hear.
Yeah,
We'll
it
bring your
was.
son out before we finish this.
Say again.
We'll bring your son out here, put him on
Oh,
camera.
that'd be so cool. I brought him with. Yeah. So, yeah, that'd be so cool. He'd be stoked. He's gonna get all red faced. I guarantee it. Yeah, we were living in Hawaii, and that place is. I don't think a lot of people in the United States know that there's third world countries inside our country, you know? And it was a hard place for us to live. It was a hard place for us to live. We just moved back. That's 3.5, 4 years almost. And, the Big Island on the backside in Puna, which is like I don't know. It's got like a low murder rate, by the highest missing persons in the country. That should tell you something, you know. And them boys out there ain't playing. They're not. They're not playing around. They're not, you know. If you want to experience if you want to experience racism, an open culture of racism, go to Hawaii. Go to a small part of Hawaii where there's no tourism, and see if it feels good. If you're a racist white person, go to Hawaii and see how it feels. You'll catch some of the Southern style racism in minutes.
Yeah, I have a story myself, but it would be the equivalent of being a black person in Mississippi.
Mississippi in the 70s is how I perceive it. Like, I saw it like there's people that are really trying to be like, no, we're not racist. It's just a racist term. You know, there's like the N-word for white people out there. It's called haole, right? And there's 3 definitions, and I'll paraphrase. One means foreigner. One means without breath. So in the Hawaiian culture, they would touch foreheads and breathe, ha. And that is how they would pass on each other's mana or energy. And like, you know, that's how it was their soul. So without breath means you have no soul. So because my skin was white, I was automatically judged as a person without a soul. Where are we? But I knew this going into it. And I have been a minority most of my life. You know, have been in a minority population wherever I was. And, but if you want to learn about racism, and you're white and you don't know how it feels, go experience it. You know, maybe you'll be less ignorant in the end. I know I am.
You had incidents there?
Man, fighting for my life. I had to fight for my life twice there. Straight surviving. I thought it would be a good place to raise my son, you know, and buy a piece of property cheap for him to inherit. That happened. I did that. But we had to split and we had to get out. You know, rumors can get you killed. $200 can get you killed. You know, this is a place that it's poverty, man. It's poverty in the United States. And wherever you experience high levels of poverty, you're going to experience high levels of violence. And people that are willing to inflict violence on each other without a moment's notice. And it was like a war zone. I literally wonder if the VA has like a Hawaii survivor branch that I can visit and go to eventually. That sounds pretty soft to me, but yeah, that was an experience, and I'm glad we're back. I'm happy to be home in California. Happy to be back in LA. My dad just retired. My dad saw the video. Now that was a conversation. My grandmother recently passed away, so we came out here initially for the funeral, but stayed. At the funeral, I asked my dad if he saw it because I had family members that kind of were dancing around it. They wanted to say, hey, I saw it, but they didn't know how to deal with the content. You know, I had some family members that were like, yo, that was really powerful, dude. And that was super cool because they got to know me better. And that I shared in front of everyone something that I hadn't shared with anyone before. You know, maybe 3 people that weren't there knew about it. And now it's like my deepest, darkest secret, I just put it out there. And it did some really good things for me, healing wise. You know, I think we hide a lot of I think it's necessary to. A lot of our traumas, we bury them deep, you know, and I don't think it's just a traditional way of doing things as an American man to just swallow it, eat it, hide it, let it boil over when you get drunk and your wife's being mouthy. No, I think that these traumas have to either come out naturally or they have to be drawn out of you in order to process them and move on.
Or they come out in ways you don't want them to.
Or they'll continue to rear their heads over and over and over until
you work it out.
I'm super stoked that we had that talk, dude, that I'm super stoked that we had that talk. Like, I did not realize how impactful it was going to be. But like my girlfriend, she watched it and was like, I'm so glad you did that because I know you better. You know?
Now that she heard it.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been 7 years we've been on and off together, you know, and she knows me better than anybody else. And I love that girl. Nicole, she's the most amazing thing. She's been dealing with my problems for 7 years, you know? I can't imagine the amount of patience it must have taken her to sit there and wake up next to me, same shit that my son has dealt with, you know? Baby, you're okay. I've been woken up and heard that phrase more times than I like to admit because I don't know what I was just putting that person through, you know? And it's not my fault per se, you know, as much as, but it's a reality, it's there for her to volunteer and to stick it out and to say there's something better on the other side of this. You know, this person's in pain. The pain is coming out in different directions and they're not aware of it. And to any family member, right? To any person that has a similar diagnosis or has the same types of issues that I do, where feelings come up from memories, feelings arise, and they can't be just breathed out real quick. You can't just, they don't go away. The feeling stays with you after, you know, the thought has come and gone. So anybody that has the patience to like sit with somebody and stick that out, that's who my hat's off to. The people that deal with us, you know? And
it could also include people with like borderline personality,
anybody,
bipolar, all these things.
Anybody that,
if you don't understand, you just go, this chick's crazy, and you kick her out, and
you don't give them a chance.
You don't give them a chance.
I mean, look, okay. So I'm looking at the video, right? I'm watching the video, and I'm saying like, wow, dude, look at your face. You know, I don't hear myself looking like that. Does that make sense?
You don't hear yourself.
Like if you closed your eyes, you would never imagine the person talking to look like me. And I'm saying that because of this.
Because of the tattoos or what?
Because who does this? You know, there's a reason. And when I got this tattoo, it was specifically, I had a specific reason in mind. It was an impulsive decision, but at the same time, the decision came with forethought. It came with, will this help me at some point? And when I was living in Hawaii, yes. It was another thing like my veteran mask. It would give people pause and say, you know, I gotta make a couple assumptions here. This person doesn't give a shit, you know, about what I think. You know, that's usually what a face tattoo says. It says, I don't care what you think about me, you know? And everybody I know who has a face tattoo cares about what you think about them. You know, that's the whole point, you know? So it was a thing that I used as like a defense mechanism.
It says airborne?
It says airborne. That was what everybody there called me. That was the nickname that I got out there, was airborne. Because one thing they do respect in Hawaii is the veteran culture, the warrior culture. You know, they're a warrior culture. And they respect somebody that's gone to war and come back and returned. So the more easy it was for you to know me as that person, the faster I was taken seriously, the faster people were less inclined to attempt blatant violence to like a show of violence to get me to do what they want, right? I think people they flash is a term for it. When people flash at you, they're trying to see right then and there if you're going to stand on your feet or back down, you know? And most of the time, people that I know that do that are hoping you back down, you know? So I think this tattoo was one of those things that I got as like, I hope you back down, because I was good at soldiering. I excelled at violence. I took it serious. And none of that shit just goes away. You know, you don't just wake up one morning and forget how to hit somebody in the face. You know, it can almost be like a second nature. Does that make me proud of that shit? No. But I know that about myself. I know that I can stand my ground. I know that I can defend myself. I know I can keep my kids safe, my girlfriend safe, in those kinds of experiences. And I don't run from them. Like, they don't make me nervous the way that I think that people that haven't really experienced a lot of violence would. And it's like experience is the only teacher in that situation, really. I might have come off like I guess I just hope that people that said the things that they said meant it. You know?
I'm sure they did.
You know? That's like, because I read it and I took it all to heart. And, you know, and even the people that say, you're full of shit, I'm all right, dude.
You get that on every video.
You're going to get that no matter what, you know? And,
media.
oh, I think a lot of people saw me and saw it as like, is this person an example of a veteran? And it's like, who is to say what a veteran is supposed to be like after they get back, right? You take all these boys and girls, you put them you put them through a system, you train them to do a certain thing, they do it, they're still the same individuals. They're still individuals. But now they have this common concept, right? This mentality of warrior, I guess, is what we'll call it. When they get back, is there like a dress code that I missed out on? Should I be wearing the baggy cargo pants and a tucked in polo shirt and an American flag with like a Velcro American flag on the hat and like a grow beard? Should I do that? Is that like a veteran in America? Because I think those guys are the ones that are, you know, the picture people have in their mind. And I was amazed to even read that ignorance in our culture and see how much people were like kind of disappointed that I have regrets. You know, it's like, you're a soldier in the United States military. You're supposed to be strong, stay strong, and keep it strong, you know? And I get that. It's necessary when you're at war. But when I come back, let me fucking grieve my way. You know? Let me have my regrets. It's okay for me to regret some of the things I did. That's more than okay. If I didn't, I don't think I'd be a good person. You know, you can interview a veteran and hear them sit there brag about the things they've done and see how good that comes out. Or talk to somebody that says, you know, all that shit wasn't really what I knew was going to happen. And I still have fucking nightmares about it. I believe that you'll get more out of the person who's approaching it from an open mind and saying, hey, post the war, I've been able to step back and remove myself from it and remove the way I look at myself and say, what the fuck happened? Why am I being affected? I don't think that somebody is less than, weaker, pussy, bitch, any of those words that go hand in hand with somebody that says like, man, I cry about some of the shit I did. I applaud that person, you know? I think that's the stronger of the individuals than the one that swallows it and says, I'm the shit. You know, I went over there and did all sorts of craziness and I'm stoked. That doesn't come off as healing to me. You know, what can you get from that?
Well, you're a human before you're a veteran.
Bingo. What can you get from that? What do we get from that? What do we get from the hard ass? What have we learned in life? You know, let's say over the last 20 years in psychology, what have we learned about the hard ass? What addition does that person give to culture, society? Not much.
Nothing.
There's not much of an addition there. So I have said to myself, in an aware state, how can you add? Because I'm done subtracting. I'm done taking away. And I've been done since 2008. And I knew that. And I talked about last time about how my brother asked me to stop drinking. That was a big deal for me. You know, alcohol is a big part of the military. It's like they fucking put it on you. Like they're literally encourage you to get wasted. They have military balls, they have picnics. Beer is provided. It's the only thing that's free. That's interesting. It's a legal corrosive substance. It is one of the most addictive substances. It is the most destructive we have found so far in society, in that it has the worst effect on us as a society. And not only is it legal, but it is like, I still hear guys tell me about what they drank Saturday night. Bro, you think I give a fuck how many Jägermeister shots you can do? You know, what does that do for my kid? You know, what does that do for your mom? What does that do for the world around you? You know? And I decided a while ago that I was going to become one of those people that wants to just add shit. You know? I want to be an addition to everywhere I go. I don't want to feel like somebody is going to leave with the feeling of, man, I don't want to fucking see that guy again. And I don't have an ego in that way to where my image of me is more important than your feelings you leave once we've experienced each other. The feelings you have about me when we leave each other matter to me. They matter. It makes a fucking difference if I'm an asshole or not. You know? I think so. I think it makes a difference if I affect people negatively. Even if I'm confident about it, it does not make it right. And I'm kind of just going off of the things that I.
No, what I loved about your talk,
Yeah.
for me personally, is it was so relatable. Like you know, if I had been born 10 years earlier or something, maybe I would have been drafted,
Right.
forced to go into the military without, you know, which I would never do. But let's say I got drafted, you got to go serve your country.
Different is, yeah.
Listening to your talk made it like, well,
Palpable.
this is what it would have been like if I had gone.
Right.
You know, the things you experienced, how you dealt with them, how you're dealing with them, seemed like that's how I would deal with it.
That's good to know that I'm not, you know what I mean? Because I guess I still have this like overwhelming feeling that I put myself out there as somebody that's like, oh, the military beat me up. It's like, I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim of anything I did. I don't believe so. Yeah, I want to make that clear. It's like, yo, I don't feel like I'm a victim of the military. I don't feel like the United States did that to me. I feel like I'm just a person with regrets, man, you know?
Who went through war.
Yeah, and I have regrets.
War does this to people.
It fucks people up, dude. And if people go through that and come back and don't think they're fucked up, somebody's going to fucking feel it. Somebody else will feel it down the line, you know? And that's why, like, what's cool about what we were able to talk about is that, like, it seems like I didn't even know I was coming as an advocate for veterans. I had no idea, but I am. I think it's a very serious thing. You know, I think Winston Churchill was one of the people that said you can judge a society based off of how they treat their veterans. You know, some smart guy said that sometime. Yeah. And that's a good indicator of the way we treat our people go off of the people that selflessly served, that went over there and thought they were doing the right thing. And I still, in my heart, believe I joined for the right reasons. It wasn't just to get out of trouble. It wasn't just to, you know, there were challenges that you face in the military. There's things put in front of you, tests put in front of you, and it's a pass, or it's either a go, no go. And then there's also courses you can take, classes and things you can take to where there's like, you're put into a percentile of how well you do, commandant's list, right? Every school I went to, not every school, but every one I went to after I'd already gotten to the 82nd Airborne Division, I graduated in the commandant's list because I fucking took it serious. It's everything they're teaching you is teachable, you know, is learnable. But I think, you know, there was people that gave up on themselves quickly and people that were just straight lazy. They were just like, fuck that, that's extra work, I'm cool on that. But I took every single class, every course, every school as a, can I do this? You know, I was insecure as a young man. Growing up in LA, the way that I did, I was super insecure and sensitive. Fuck, dude. Sensitive is like one of those things, you know, where people are like, man, you're sensitive. And you're like, fuck you. You're fucking sensitive. I was one of those. I was. I had like ugly duckling syndrome. I was like, I never believed that I was good enough for anything, anybody at all. I just didn't have that belief. And it's not my dad's fault. It's not even my mom's fault, you know, ran off with uncle.
It's probably just your DNA.
It's just the way that I perceived shit, you know? And the way that we see things, like, okay, like you and I are both sitting in the same room right now. You're seeing, we could put something in the center of the room between us, and we're looking at the same exact object. Same exact one. But we're seeing literally two different pictures, right? Who's to say your experience is any less effective than mine? Or, you know, we could have, that's what I was mean by like these things happen to us individually. Like, we're perceiving the same exact situation, the same exact thing, but from two different angles. Whose is the right angle? No one's to say. No one's to say. So for people that have experienced abuse, for people that have experienced heartache, a hardship, the things that we experience, who's to say that the way that they perceived it was wrong? Oh, you saw that, you didn't see that right. It's like, what do you fucking mean, right, you know? I guess it's just like my intrigue in human psychology. It's just like, the amount of therapies I've done and stuff have taught me some shit. One is, awareness is the key. Knowing you're experiencing something when it's happening is bigger than knowing why in the moment. Just knowing that, oh shit, I think I'm, let me take me out of the moment real quick and fucking say, holy shit, I'm having I'm having an effect on the world around me. That all bases off of that same perception, the thing in the room and from what angle. So my childhood could have been like my brother. I have a brother named Kenny. He's the shit. He's the one that asked me to stop drinking. We have the same exact childhood, 100%, same exact one. He has anxieties in places that I don't, and I had anxieties in places he didn't. We work really well together, and we always will. I love, like, my brother's my best friend, and sometimes I'll tell him a story, and he'll give me a strange look, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I don't remember it happening that way. And in my head, that's the fucking way it happened, man. And he's like, no, dude, I think you missed this part, you know? And how often do you think that happens to people? We might have missed a part.
I think it happens all the time.
I think it happens every day, all day.
People I interview, you'll hear them tell a story. And you're always like, that the parents would tell the story differently.
Right.
And you know that the spouse or the victim or the whatever would tell that story differently. But it's that person's reality.
Yeah.
That's the way they saw it.
And the picture can be painted, pretty gnarly.
Right?
Oh, yeah. If there's, yeah, totally.
Well, what I've learned from doing this for years now, is that, the viewers, the commenters are very compassionate and very kind of empathetic and very evolved, which is great. I'm proud of that. But I don't think we can ever really, truly understand what it's like to grow up in extreme poverty, in the hood, with a dad that was in prison, a mom that was on drugs, a sister that was a hoe.
And she sat there and watched.
And you're surrounded by gang members and pimps and hustlers and con artists, and you're supposed to go out there and just go get a job.
And thrive.
Go kick ass. And you'll see these simplistic suggestions in the comments like, oh, just quit that.
Yeah.
Go get a job at the grocery store. And it's like,
do something simple.
Yeah, it's like, unless you can live in her shoes, you're never going to get it.
The complexity of PTSD.
And that's why I do these videos.
Right. You like, man, you're my hero, Mark. You're my hero. The complexity of PTSD is such to where if you don't suffer from it, right? And I think everybody suffers from it in some form or another.
Absolutely.
Even if the fucking Santa didn't bring you what you want, you're still bummed out, dude. You're 80 years old, chill, you know? Anything that sticks with us, post-traumatic stress, after the fact, stays with you, is all based on the way we felt while we perceived it. That's just the way that I have come to grips with shit. If you felt like it was your fault, you're going to live in this feeling of I did that, or I wasn't enough to make it work, or anything like that. If you felt like it was being done to you, there's the why that people grow up with. We have all these whys, right? Why did that happen? And truth be told, I've boiled all the whys down to one thing. Doesn't matter. The why is an individual thing. The why is for me, right? If I can put a why on it, maybe then I can understand it better. And once I started letting go of the why and started accepting exactly what happened as it happened and tried to pull my feelings out of it in the moment, I couldn't process shit. I'd stay cloudy and stay hurt. I would go to therapy and we would talk and I'd be there for an hour and I'd leave feeling better and I'd be crying on the way home. You know, and that has to do with the fact that I would get caught up on the why me, you know? And like you were saying, that person, that girl that grew up in that life, right? The gang, no examples, just gang members everywhere, like all that gangster shit.
No role models.
Nothing.
Probably got sexually abused at 6
There's
years old.
so many more of those people than not, in my opinion, right? Like the majority of the populace of the United States lives in the urban areas, lives in like the metropolitan areas. That's where you're gonna see the poverty. That's where you're gonna see people rubbing up against each other a lot. When you think about it, it's like if you don't get saddened by it, if you're not saddened by the fact that I think there's more people hurt than not, then then you have an askew version of the way the world works. And that's something that I saw in the comments too. There are some people that have some really trippy views on things. You know, I don't know. Do you read the comments?
Sometimes.
It's kind of fun because you can be on there, you're reading, and somebody's like, "Man, thank you, you did this," or "Hey, I was there at the same time, bro. I know this dude knows what he's talking," all that kind of shit. And then you're like, the person's like, "Donald Trump," blah blah. I was like, "Is this fucking person serious right now?" Like, we're going to war with Russia. It's Biden's fault. I was like, I don't know how to thumbs up this shit, dude. You know, like there's that thing where people are so stuck in those moments, in this like moment, in this like feeling of whatever hate I want to hang on to or whatever cause I feel like I'm behind. Like they can't literally step out for a second and see what was right in front of them.
Hate, judgment, separation is all an addiction.
It's gnarly.
People are addicted to it. It's like it's as bad as heroin.
It is.
People won't let go of it. And what I'm hoping to do with this is just like
break some of that.
Just a little understanding will break that all down.
It really will. It really will. And that's why I'm like stoked that you like let me come back and talk because like
we'll do more.
That'd be cool, dude. I like doing this. I like I'm verbose. I'm loquacious.
No, but you have really great thoughts. And you're a sensitive person, which I love, which is you're not a tough badass. You've been a tough badass when you had to be, but
right.
You're generally like I am a much more sensitive person.
Yeah,
you feel everything intensely.
I was born that way.
Yeah,
actually, me too. I believe that. I believe I was born. I was like one of those kids that my aunt told me this. So when I first got sober in 2011, okay, before I turned myself in to the feds, my aunt said we knew you were gonna have problems when you were 6 and 7 years old and you were asking questions that we could not answer. You're asking questions about why do people do that to each other? Why is this happening? Why a lot of the whys. At a young age, she was like, we knew your heart was gonna feel some shit, you know? And when you take a big heart and put it in a small room, anybody walking by, you're gonna feel it, you know? And I pride myself, man, in saying I have a big heart. I pride myself in the fact that I would rather love than hate. I pride myself in the fact that I will teach my son does not have an angry bone in his body. I don't know what happened. I tried to shelter him as much as possible, but I have not hid shit from him. I have not hidden anything about the world from him, you know?
Yeah, but you're doing a great job of breaking the
The cycle.
cycle.
Like my father, I don't blame him for any of the ways he used to raise us, you know? My dad is very short with his words. He does not say much. He raised 11 kids. 2 which were not his, they were my oldest sisters. They're 18 now. They just turned 18. And he's 75 and literally just retired this year because for the first time in 48 years, he's not raising a child in his home. That's my hero. You know, somebody that can put it all down, everything they want, know, or love in life, to say, I need to take care of this person first. If we're not fucking giving them the medals, you know, we're really looking in the wrong direction. I don't consider myself special because I raised my kid. I consider myself somebody that's doing what they're supposed to do, you know? And if that's the only thing I'm doing right, dude, fuck it. I'll take that hit.
All right. So who is this? You want to introduce?
Chance.
That's Chance Patrick Hutchinson. This is my son, the baby I talk about.
Hey, Chance.
Hi.
So were we lying? Are you happy to be my son?
Yes.
And I'm happy to be your dad?
Yes.
Are you sure, bro?
Yes.
Promise?
Yes.
Doing something right. I'm doing something right.
How old are you, Chance?
9.
9. Tell me about your dad.
He is 38.
No, tell me about your dad.
Oh, he's awesome.
He is
He's very tall.
6'4".
Oh yeah.
What else?
Um,
When you think about your dad, what do you think of?
he's best at math.
The best at math? What about if somebody were to say, what's your favorite part about your dad being your dad?
That you're my dad.
Do I let you be you?
Yes.
Like I want you to be who you are? Not who I want you to be?
No.
Why? Do you know why?
You want to be a good dad?
Dad is a good dad, you know? But it's because who you are isn't up to me, you know? I can keep you safe, right?
Yeah.
But I can't predict or determine how you're going to treat other people. So how do I help you treat other people well?
Raise me to be that way. The nice way. To be nice.
How's that? How do I raise you to be nice?
You take care of me. You love me.
He sets
When I get
a
sad-
good example.
Bingo. Do I do things that I don't want you to do?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yes.
He's honest. But do I explain to you the
Yes.
difference between right and wrong
Yes.
in what I'm doing even when I'm doing something that's not okay? Do I tell you that I'm not supposed to be doing this?
Yes.
Honesty. I'm honest with you. Am I honest with you?
Yes.
I think that's important, though. You think that's one of the important things? Do I hide stuff from you?
No.
Not really, right?
No.
Because if I'm doing it, then I shouldn't have to hide it. I think. What are you twisting your arms up?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just playing with my
Your son will
arms.
turn into your dad. That's what we tend to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're in good shape, Chance.
You're doing good so far. I've never seen him angry, ever. I've never seen him angry, lash out. He's never talked back to me. Never. What's the
I
one?
cry before I get angry.
Yeah. He's sensitive too.
That's great.
That's
It's
a cool
it's
thing.
a great quality in a man.
He's like the watchers of your channel. He's just empath. You know, like totally empathetic. Did you watch the video?
Yes.
Did you read the comments?
Yes. I
Were
read it for you.
they pretty good? Did you like the things people are saying?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's pretty cool, huh?
Just the haters suck.
Haters suck.
Yes, they do.
That's all right. We love our haters, bro. They're obsessed with us. Let them hate.
Yeah, somebody explained to me all the
If they're
haters.
haters, then why do they watch it?
They watch religiously.
Yeah. Those are the ones that are just, yeah. And they're like picking apart. They're like, look at his hair. There's no way. He's really that person. He has brown hair. There's no way he's that person. It's like, I don't know where their opinions come from, you know? Some of them are pretty far out. Pretty far out.
Most of them are nice though.
But you're real.
Yes.
You're really my son.
Yes.
You're really here.
Yes.
You're 9 years old.
Yes.
Have you ever had to wake me up because I was having a nightmare?
Yes.
Yes.
And then I cuddle with you and go to bed.
Yep.
And then the night's all done.
Have I always been honest with you about the way that the war has affected me?
Yes.
What have I told you?
It was hard after that. And losing your friends,
Yep.
that was really hard too.
Yeah.
And it's really changed you.
Yeah. But if I get mad at you, do you think I'm mad at you or mad at something you've done?
You're mad at something I've done.
Why? Because getting mad at you does what?
Nothing.
Does not help, huh? That's the big one. That's, I think, where we broke the cycle. Is that,
Because you're just telling me not to do it.
yeah, I never want my son to feel like I'm mad at him or like he's the problem, you know? Like my father, he didn't know in the moment it was happening, but I always thought he hated me. I thought he hated me. I really did, you know? And I never ever want my son to think I have anything but love for him, you know?
There's only one love that matters, and it's unconditional love.
It's the one that you get. Yeah, it's the one you give, right?
It's the only one that counts.
Are we learning?
Yes.
We are? So, thank you.
All right, you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.